Hi, welcome to my channel. I am Narayana. Today I am going to talk about Kafka Broker. I am going to build a simple Java with a Spring Cloud Stream based application to produce a message to the broker on a specific topic, and also I'm going to consume from that topic which I producer has been produced message. So if you want to know more details, definitely you can follow the below URLs which you can see it on the screen. Thank you. So let's discuss about the use case so that we can understand the Kafka architecture later, Spring Cloud Stream components, and how it is binding with Java 8. Okay, thank you. So here, if you see it is simple use case. So developing a application, sending a message to the broker on a specific topic, and the same message which consumer is going to consume it on that specific topic. So here I'm using Spring Boot microservices implementation framework because I wanted to keep alive my application so that I can able to see that whether I'm able to consume or I am not able to consume. All those testing can be verified. So I'm going to integrate with Spring Cloud Stream, and Spring Cloud Stream enables to integrate with either Kafka Broker or RabbitMQ. So in this particular exercise, I'm going to talk about Kafka Broker. So, so publishing a message to a running Kafka Broker, I can do it in two ways, either console-based producer or Java-based application. The same case with the consumer. So I can use Kafka console-based consumer or Java-based application. But console is the utility used by the Kafka broker to do the sanity testing whether it is working or not. But ideally, those will be not used in the real use cases. And I am printing the message from my application whether I'm able to get that message or not. And also application motivates that if my consumer is down due to some reason, could be a network failure or consumer killed the running Java process, whatever could be reasons. So still I can able to receive the data which it has been the last state it was lost, or later what are the messages has been produced by the producer. Yes, that is very important during the application development. We can see that in the real code base. Okay, so this is a high level use case which I am defining for understanding purpose. Let's jump into the next slides to see the different components of the Kafka and Cloud Stream. So Kafka architecture, I'm just representing here. There is a producer, there is a broker, there is a consumer. So consumers can be one or many because same topic data may be required by different applications. So that's the reason. So producer basically can produce a data to the broker. So brokers can be placed into a cluster, one or more servers, and you can create topics. Topics can have the partitions, and that will have a leader follower kind of an internal architecture. If you want to more details, definitely you can go to the kafka.apache.org so that you can understand more details. And consumers can connect to the topic from the broker independently or in a group. If it is in a group, it will give you benefit. Any one of the consumer is failed, the other consumer take overs the responsibility of on behalf of the failed consumer. So meantime, developers can go ahead and look up and then fix it, and they can bring up the failed consumer. Again, the data will be more balanced during the consumption time. That's the advantage when we are going with consumer group. Now let's see a simple physical architecture which I am running in my local system. So Java Producer is a Spring Boot application which is running on the 10,000 port, which is sending a message to the broker. Broker is a server which is running on the Linux server. in my local system, which is with 9092 port. And I am having a consumer Java application which is built on the Spring Boot on 10,001 port. So you can have your broker on your local machine or on the Docker, whatever fashion. Make sure that your application can able to communicate with the broker. That's the primary. So testing can be done in many forms. As I said, console level, which provided utility by the Kafka broker, or the application level. So what are the prerequisites required to build my use case? So you must have Oracle JDK 8 or above. It's good, depends on your choice, but mandatory is 8. Docker, Docker Compose, it's optional, it is your choice, or you can have your local broker, as I said. But in my case, I'm running on the Docker. So that's the reason I need Docker and Docker Compose related, softwares installed. IDE, basically a good tool where you can develop piece of your code so that you can test it easily, either IntelliJ or Eclipse. And for building the microservice, I need Spring Boot with Spring Web support so that we can build a microservice. And Spring Cloud Stream for binding with my Kafka. And Maven is used for the code compile tool. So here, for example, I'm giving a Docker Compose file where I can bring up my broker and bring down my broker. So internet connectivity is needed, because which is going and talking to the respective uh, repositories over the internet. That's the reason. But it is a mandatory in case if you are using Docker based. If you are not using Docker based, you don't need it. And intended audience could be Java developers who has the skill medium to high, and Java architects. So also intended audience if interested, or any other people. So Spring Cloud Stream basically divided into three components: binders, bindings, and message. So binders is nothing but basically the external systems which are connecting from or connecting to. So say that there are applications where Kafka is my producer, application consumes it. Maybe I wanted to send it to a downstream that is hosted on the RabbitMQ. So upstream is Kafka, downstream is RabbitMQ. In between, my application resides. I can definitely do. So I need those broker details. For that reason, it requires a binder. Now talk to the bindings. Bindings are the one which is going to consume your application using the application code with your brokers, right? So there is a specific format they have defined it, how to define a binding. We can see with Java 8 format how it is structurally formatted. And message is basically a canonical data structure. It can be byte form or it can be string form or whatever you would like. So here destination they specified. Why they specified destination binders, destination bindings? Because destination could be source or destination could be the real target system. That's the reason. Okay. So these details definitely when you look at the code you will clearly understand. Now probably you try to understand the concept. So as I said, Java 8 is mandatory. Why? Because Spring Cloud Stream now come up with to have the functional interfaces mapping with the bindings. That's the reason I was trying to explain Java 8 is mandatory for this application development. So you know the Java functional interface concepts you might have heard, used, blah blah. Supplier is used to basically to send a message according to this particular use case. Okay, or it can act as a producer. consumer functional interface act as the consumer or receive the data from the Kafka topic. Function is another. So you can receive input on one topic, you can do processing, and then you can publish to another topic. Yes, that is also possible in our application. We can go ahead and do it. So these are the reference URLs. Here is my source code available. You can go ahead and download and you can test it. Ensure that broker is available. That's the important thing. Code will not have any other dependency. Thank you. Happy learning. Now let's jump into the real code and we can try to correlate whatever the conceptually which we learned before. Okay, so let's first talk about the producer. So as I said, I'm writing a simple microservice Spring Boot application and I'm referring a profile called publisher. So we'll take a look at that. Before go there, let's look at the producer object. So here I'm defining a logger, I'm defining one atomic object, and I defined a bean according to the Spring Framework implementation. So as I said, supplier is used to send a message. What type of message supplier is sending here? String type. What is the name of the functional interface? This is supplier. So what is the name of the method? Send test data. So this how I am going to bind with bindings which we discussed in the previous sessions. So I'm producing a message. So I'm building a simple logic like I'm sending, you can see it. I'm sending a message foo bar depends on this is a simple logic which I applied, and we can see that what message has been sent from the producer. Now let's go ahead and take a look at it, the producer configuration. So I'm saying that application-pub. So pub I am using in my application during the startup. You have seen it here. So I specified Spring profile as pub. So now keenly look at it. So this is the name of the Spring application logging, and as I said, 10,000 will be my Spring boot port. Now observe clearly. I am defining Spring Cloud Stream, the function. Function definition. What is the name of the functional interface I have used there? Supplier. So what is the name of the method which I have used? Send test data. So this is the name where I have used. So I have to use that. Okay. I had to first declare it. So we specified there in the document bindings. So this is what I was talking. How do we integrate with the brokers? So send test data, we have to use the name of the definition followed by hyphen out hyphen 0. That means this is the first producer. So out is a standard word which is defined by the Spring Cloud Stream. And destination nothing but the name of the topic which we have in the broker. And also we discussed over there the binder. What is the binder? So I have here Kafka 1, the name of the binder. That means I can use Kafka type binder. If I want to use RabbitMQ, I can write rabbit 1. Here I specify rabbit 1, then here I specify rabbit MQ. So let's see what definition it has. So I am defining environment Spring Cloud stream, and this is a standard signature everyone must follow, and binder and brokers and Jupyter nodes where the broker is running. I'm having only one broker in my local machine. That's the reason I'm specifying. If you have multiple, you can specify with comma separated here in this particular line. And zookeeper as well, you can specify comma separated if you have more than one brief zookeepers running in your local. So this is all about available in the GitHub repository. You can definitely download and you can also practically test it. This is the producer. Now let's come back to the consumer part. So consumer also a microservice which is running. It is using a profile called subscribe. Sub I specify. So this has an object. This object has a bean method. That is what I was telling Java 8. Consumer is used to consume the data from the topic. What type of message? It is string type. So this is the name of the method, and this is the consumer interface usage. So you need to know Java 8 fundamentals for doing all these things. And I say that data received. Now let's go ahead and take a look at it. What is the difference between these two configurations? So here, this is running on 10,001 port. So Spring Cloud Stream function definition all are same. Only the name of the definition is receive, because we have already seen the consumer demo has the name of the method is receive. So which is being mapped. And bindings. Now receive, because this is a receiving kind, so followed by hyphen in hyphen 0. So destination where, from the particular topic. So I have to specify the destination. As I was telling you, the X in the concept, consumers can be placed. Say now I can do a duplicate of this consumer, and I can have another subscription with a different name, so that I can have two consumers in the same group to balance my data effectively while consuming time. Because when you have huge volumes of the data coming through the message broker, it is difficult to handle by a single consumer. That's the reason. So my name of the group is here. The trick I have specified that if my consumer has been killed by some means, how do I able to recover the lost messages which was produced by the producer? So I had to use a consumer maximum attempts. I don't want to poll to my broker multiple times. Only one time I want to poll and reset the offset. Say if consumer down, it resets the offset and fetches where was missing from that offset onwards. We can see that in practical. And also we have seen in the document binder. So binder is the one again the same as the producer. So you can specify, go ahead and specify. So this is all structurally. So I'm using Confluent Kafka, as I said. So this is the configuration file. This is also available in the GitHub. You can go ahead and use this file and you can run. I have written a README file. You can follow the README file, and then if how do you create a topic? Also, I have given a helpful text file. So definitely you can go ahead and. So here in local, I'm having a Kafka broker which is running, and I wanted to receive the message which is being produced by the producer on the console. Okay, I'm starting my console consumer, and now I'm going to consume the data. I had to start my consumer application. So producer application, both. So let me go ahead and start my producer application. So you can right click on this object and say run consumer or producer, whichever you wanted. I have already here, that's the reason I selected from here. If you do not have it, you can please come right click on your file, then run as this application. So now you can see that started and the data also sent. What is the name of the data which I sent? foo511. Now I can go ahead and see foo511, my console has been consumed. Now let me start my real consumer. Can I able to consume that message or not? We can see it. So now I have produced 338. Now I can go to the console. I can see 338. Yes, my console consumer is being consuming. Now 180 has been published. Now let's go back to our application. Now my application just started and now you can see if there are any previous messages were failed, I'm able to consume it because I was doing some experiments. Because of that reason, you see all the previous messages. So now, if you look at it, whatever is being published by the my producer, say who 657. Now come to the consumer, I see 657. Now I can go to the console consumer, I can see it. So all this data will be consuming. Let me kill my consumer. So by default, it won't be killing, but to explain that I have received until some message, now my consumer is down. Now let me go ahead and restart. See, can I able to consume or not where it failed. So after failing, I was receiving this many number of messages. Now my consumer is starting. Okay, consumer started, and I see 320 F4 320. That means until here it was received. Later it failed. Now I, now from this message onwards, it started consuming it. So that is how in the enterprise applications are up and running. You can go ahead and visit my GitHub page, and if you have any queries, you can post it. This is a simple consumer interface and producer functional interface used. As I also described, function you can use to receive on one topic name, produce it on another topic name. You can try your exercise. If you do not able to get it, please let me know. Thanks.